Okay, following on from the last video that I made a short while ago, there's a few things to talk about, but unlike the last video, this isn't just going to be me talking. I'm going to be flying around and showing you a few things as well. As expected, Salvation deployed his weapons in Delphi, Merope and Maya, and as a result, the Thargoid presence in those systems is gone, with only a few non-human signal sources remaining. All 24 stations that were burning have now gone into repair, but many of the systems are still in incursion, with AX conflict zones to fight in, and what we've seen with this latest wave of attacks is that any of the stations could start burning again, stop, and then start again on any Thursday after the weekly maintenance downtime, and they could keep doing that until the incursion is finally defeated. And because of this, Operation Ida won't even repair a station now until the incursion is finally cleared. We'll have to see what happens next. This seems to have forced some kind of temporary retreat, although there are still massive Thargoid presences around in the Pleiades, Witchhead and the Coal Sack. Any of those stations could start up burning again. There's been a kind of pause with all the stations temporarily in repair state, but that could just kick off again or come back even worse, as many people thinking that these super weapons are going to provoke the Thargoids into heavier and heavier attacks, and we'll just have to see where that goes. Also, a quick amendment to what I said on the last video where I talked about taking Salvation's deliveries to Ramtar instead so that he could study Salvation's super weapon and find out more about it and how it was made. I said at the time that I thought Tier 2 might be reached, but then after making the video I looked at it and realised that Tier 2 was very, very unlikely to be reached. However, Tier 1 has been reached, and hopefully that means that in the near future, Ramtar may conclude his studies of Salvation's super weapon and give us a little bit more information about it. So while we're waiting for that, there's been a couple of other things going on. The Burr Pit mentioned it in their weekly report, but the Imperial Cutter is now available at 3 different locations in Empire Space, at a big discount, up to 30% off depending on your elite rank, and that's 142 million for a brand new cutter if you're triple elite, which is about the same as a brand new Anaconda without any discounts, so that's not bad at all. That sale is running until Christmas Eve, and I'll post the 3 systems where you can buy one in the video description below. Also in the news is the continuing decline, or apparent decline, of the NMLA, the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army. And the last that we have heard is that Theta 7 hijacked a ship belonging to the Far God cult. Their members openly worship the Thargoids as heralds of a divine being that they call the Far God. A couple of the religious places of worship were discovered where it appeared that followers of this cult gave up all self-identity and gathered together in ammonia-filled chambers where they're put into cryosleep to await the Far God and ascension into, well, wherever. Several chapters of the religion gathered together in the paintjob system to construct 3 megaships to spread their message and commune with the Far God. And a community goal ran for that, where players brought them goods, and the general feeling of the player base was actually quite funny. They were thought, well, you know, if these Zeebs want to go off and sacrifice themselves to a bunch of Thargoids, good riddance to them, you know. And for every delivery tier that was reached, a megaship was built, so they had 3 megaships that they took with them. Off they went in their megaships, and that should have been the end of it. Or perhaps, you know, the wreckage of those ships might have been found at some point and that story concluded, but they never got the chance. Or at least one of them didn't. Because after the continued success of the counter-terrorism group hunting down the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army, they'd managed to reduce the influence of the NMLA, arrest a lot of them, defeat a lot of their forces, and Theta 7, the leader of the terrorists, escaped. Unfortunately for the Far God cult, he escaped on one of their megaships, which he then took over and forced to go back to Mudhrid to try and hook up with the Steel Majesty and his allies there. When they got defeated, he decided to blow the ship to pieces in a last act of defiance. And although people are skeptical about whether Theta 7 is really dead, the Far God cultists in their megaship, the Sacrosanct, certainly are. And whatever you may think about the Far God cultists, are they really onto something? Or are they just a bunch of nutters sniffing cat pee all day with a death wish? But whatever you think of them, at least they should have been given the right to choose their own fate. If they were going to sacrifice themselves to somebody, that should have been their choice, and their choice should have been respected, not hijacked for the ends and means of a terrorist. Okay, this is what we're looking for, the Sacrosanct Megaship. Now, we've seen megaships with caustic damage before. We've seen megaships with parts of them on fire before. But we've never seen a megaship completely and utterly torn in half before. This is what remains of the Sacrosanct, the Far God megaship, blown up by Theta 7. Death before capture and all of that. And there's not anything here to scan. There's not a data link, there's no contacts, there's nothing. What's interesting is that these bits that are broken off the ship like this, these appear to be like automatic bulkheads that perhaps came slamming down as some kind of security measure to seal off that part of the ship. And had the whole ship not been riddled with the caustic enzymes that Theta 7 was using for his bomb making, there's a good chance that even in such a violent incident as this, with the megaship torn completely in half by an explosion, that without the secondary attack of the caustic enzymes to kill anybody who remained, some of the crew could have survived this. And clearly the ship has been designed for that purpose, so that each section will close off like this. These bulkheads coming down to close off each section of the ship, which could then presumably be pressurized and allow anybody still in that section of the ship to survive. So yeah, it's a mess. Some of it's still on fire, there's caustic damage all over it, and it's in a big cloud of green gas still. Yeah. One of the 3 Far God megaships. I wonder if we'll ever find out what happened to the other 2. To our knowledge, they haven't been hijacked and blown up by terrorists, so yeah. Presumably they're carrying on their pilgrimage, and we may or may not hear something about those later. You can't interact with any of this. It's just here for effect, really, but although there's nothing to actually do except look at it, it's unique simply for the fact that, you know, we have not seen a megaship torn in half like this before. So, you fly around the wreckage to your heart's content and just admire the detail that they put into these things. the more you look at these megaships and installations and things like that, the more detail you see on them, and it's all very, very impressive stuff. But yeah, a bit of a depressing end. I mean, not like they were going to have a fantastically exciting end. Is Theta 7 dead? Has he faked his death? All that the Galnet article says is we can confirm he is dead, but they don't say how. How are they confirming it? Have they seen a body? Do they have remains? Is there something uniquely identifiable to him found in the wreckage that would confirm his decease? It sounds very positive. We can confirm that he's dead. Okay, we'll do it then. Because you haven't confirmed it for me, you just said so. Produce a body or something. I'm not saying that I think he's still alive, I'm just saying that they've been very, very careful not to mention how they've confirmed this. So we'll leave this sad story behind now and go on to something a little bit more cheerful. So there have been a number of thefts by a notorious thief known only as the Winking Cat. Who the Winking Cat is, or even if it is only just an individual or a group, nobody knows, but they've done a number of high-profile thefts. And this week in Galnet, the Worldcraft investigation agency, who had a bit of a run-in with a secret gambling den that also became victims of the Winking Cat, received a Joker card and a message from the notorious thief. So the Worldcraft agency was sent an ancient Joker card, and on the back of it, it says the hunt is on, and you've got these two sets of numbers: 1, 2, 3, 16th to 30th, 4, 5, 6, 23rd to 6th. So we've got gifts being given out by the Winking Cat, left around the place for people, and you can go and get these gifts for yourself. Now, whether the 16th to the 30th, which is obviously now, crosses over with the 23rd to the 6th, or whether the 23rd to the 6th perhaps the 23rd to the 6th refers to January to February, we don't know. We have no idea about the second set of dates at this point, but this is a nice little idea. Put a few articles that we really only get to read about and can't particularly interact with about this high profile series of thefts throughout the galaxy, and then all of a sudden just give us a little treasure hunt. So, how do we do this? Well, Commander Disemboweled Ego, great name, he found out and posted to the forums. I think there's someone else from Canon who may claim it first, don't know, but he was the first one I was aware of, and he put it in the forums saying, well, if you look at all the places that they robbed, Worldcraft and Achilles Corporation and the Duval Family, all I did was I went to all the systems where they have a presence or a main base or something, and looked through all the tourist beacons, and then started hunting the planets. And that was when he found the first gift. We're going to go to Epsilon Eridani, and we're going to go and pick this up. Okay, when you get there, you're looking for this body here. Major's mine. Okay, so we're going to go to it, and we're going to hit it with a DSS. So you hit it with your DSS and then look for surface sites. You're looking for a crashed ship. Now, it doesn't show up first time. A lot of players have been saying this, so what you do is drop into normal flight throttle down to as slow as you can go in Super Cruise, drop into normal flight there, and it appears in your nav panel. Target it, go back into Super Cruise and land. You'll have to do this for all three if they don't immediately show up after a DSS scan of the body. And there it is. Impossible to tell what kind of ship it actually was. Very little of the shell of it left, and just a few bits of debris, wreckage, and some containers, and it's those that we're going to head for.
Landing gear deployed.
Although it looks very rough, it is quite easy to land even a medium ship like the Asp Explorer here. And this is a Scorpion, the new SRV that's been released recently. And it was released as a combat SRV, but was almost immediately embraced by the Explorer community because of its far superior ability to traverse rugged terrain. And the low torque makes it an amazing mountain climber. Get far less wheel spin, much more traction, and it's pretty incredible for mountain climbing. I've given it a bit of a try, and I was just blown away by night and day difference that it makes. The only thing it can't do very well, in fact, is jump. It just kind of bunny hops a bit. So you can't do your long barrel rolls over ships that you can in the Scarab. It doesn't have that kind of agility. And it's slower to accelerate as well, but it will actually get to the same top speed as the Scarab. It will just take a little bit longer to get there. I got it up to 52 going downhill in a crater the other day, but I really do like this new SRV. I think it's a business, and just ironic that an SRV that was supposed to be for combat has actually turned out to be better for exploring, depending on the kind of exploring that you're doing, than the good old Scarab that we all know and love. It doesn't drift so much. It's much better at navigating the kind of SRV killing terrain that Odyssey tends to generate. And yeah, I love it. I love this thing. It's awesome. And if I just show you this mountain, I decided to test it out, and I got almost to the top of it, as you can see in the pictures here that are following, and that's pretty amazing. I couldn't do that in the Scarab. Worth the effort. Now this is what you're looking for, an old-fashioned settlement uplink like you see in planet bases everywhere, and it's between these two crates, but you don't have to actually drive round to it. And again, I just need the data scanner, and when you scan the uplink, it's a gift from the Worldcraft theme park, one of the places robbed. You get 10 million credits and a red Festive Flak Launcher module stored at Dark's High, and a 5B luxury passenger cabin module stored at Dark's High. So that's our next stop. I'm at Dark's High in outfitting, and here it is. I've already fitted it. The remote release flak launcher pre-engineered, and if you look at the engineering, the blueprint is decorative red. Okay, and it hardly does any damage at all, as you can see here. And also, oh, whoops. Also, if I go into stored modules and go to passenger cabins, there's a 5B luxury class cabin. Which, yeah, bit scratching my head about why somebody would give one of those away, but you never know. I might be going to Colonia one day and decide that, oh, I might as well take some party of VIPs up there for a bit of extra money for doing something and I'm doing anyway. I don't know. But it's there, it's free. And so let's go and give this flat cannon a road test. There you go, Merry Christmas. Now you can't change the colour of the flak itself, but you can change the colour of the afterglow, that white that you can see flashing up when the red is because I have white weapon colours. If I change those to yellow, that afterglow will be yellow, so you can play about with that, but you can't change the actual colour itself. So there you go, a bit of fun. Might be a giggle to take one along on mass launches for expeditions, have a load of people firing them, perhaps all with different afterglows. Doesn't do any damage, or at least none to speak of. And that's your first little present, courtesy of the Winking Cat. Same deal as before, you're looking for body 5B. Hit it with a DSS. And you should get another crash ship. If you don't, same deal as last time. And another crash site. This time, this is what you scan. The crashed SRV. And you scan the SRV comms link. And when you do, you get a gift from the Achilles Corporation. 10 million credits again. The Asp Explorer Festive Green paint job. And a green Santa jumper outfit. Okay, to get these you don't have to go anywhere in particular. You can just log out to the main menu, go to livery. And if you're already in an Asp Explorer, there it is. The Festive Green paint job to go with your Festive Red Flak Launcher. And if we go to Suit Extras, there is the Santa jumper, very fetching. It comes to something, doesn't it, when the jumper actually looks more tasteful than the paint job. But if you do want some really tacky jumpers and outfits, then they are for sale. You have the elf jumper pack with a number of the type of awful jumpers that people send you at Christmas who never see you any other time of year. And if you like, you can even have a snowman helmet there. And there's a festive jumper pack as well. And there you are, if you want to buy any of those. And again, the snowman helmet. Don't forget as well that on every day leading up to Christmas, if you log into the game, you will be given free arcs to spend on stuff like this, should you so wish. It actually doesn't look that bad. I can't believe I'm saying that. Zeaex? Okay, Zeaex. However you pronounce it, this is where you go next. Now this is the home system of the Duval, who was, I think he was the 7th Emperor or something. and anyway, it was his portrait that got stolen. So when you come into this system, there are tourist beacons telling you all about Olbam. That was his name. Just as in the other two systems, you will find tourist beacons telling you about the Achilles Corporation and Worldcraft. And you can go and get some history on them, should you so wish. What we're looking for is this planet here, Irvin's wreck. Same thing again. DSS the planet, and if the crash ship doesn't show,
surface scan
0 throttle.
50%.
Yeah.
Surface scan complete.
Drop it to normal flight. There it is. Target it. Back into Super Cruise. Land.
Frame shift
And
drive
scan the link there. And again, not much left of it. And again, this is what you're looking for. A settlement uplink. Same kind of thing as you find on planet bases. And you get the message, and with another free gift, 10 million credits and an Imperial Courier. A free Imperial Courier. And you don't even have to have the rank to have a courier. So if you've got no rank with the Empire at all, you can still pick up yourself a little courier for free. So that's quite a nice little thing, because normally you would have to be at the 3rd rank, I think, Master, if I remember correctly, for the Empire to unlock the courier. So you could actually use the courier to do data runs to unlock all your other Empire ranks if you haven't done that yet. Be a very thematic way to do it. Use the courier to do data missions to unlock the Clipper and then the Cutter. So Trigvassen Orbital, if that's how you pronounce that, is where you go to pick that one up. And so as you can see, Worldcraft, Achilles and Duval Family are all people who have been mentioned in the recent Galnet articles concerning the Winking Cat, who has stolen from all three of them. So here we are, Trigvassen Orbital. And if you just go to your ships, there it is. When it comes up, there you are. A brand new courier, and it's exactly as you would buy it, brand new. E-rated parts, a couple of pulse lasers in it. The usual stuff, exactly as if you'd bought one brand new. Super Cruise Assist docking computer, a few cargo racks thrown in there, and a basic shield. But yeah, for free, that's not a bad little ship. They're fun to fly. So okay, that wraps it up for this one. You can go get your free gifts, courtesy of the Winking Cat. Maybe the other three will be found, or maybe they won't be found until the 23rd. The date range suggests that you will be able to get these all the way up to the 30th. 3 more gifts from the Winking Cat are presumably on the way, and will be placed on the 23rd, this month, next month, I don't know. We can only wait, as we can always only wait. We'll see as well what kind of fallout we get from Salvation using his super weapon 3 times, but it looks as if the authorities are coming over to him and looking to support him. Now we know that Salvation doesn't really trust the authorities, but he is appreciative of some kind of organisation, since he's been recruiting military commanders from all 3 superpowers as well as Sirius security this week. what will happen with the Thargoid War. Will something special happen for Christmas? Will there be another massive attack at New Year like there was last year? These attacks are pretty bad. Some of the worst incursions we've ever seen, and they've been going on for weeks, and as fast as the Thargoids have been repelled, they've been reinforced. All the stations are in repair now, but that is a very temporary state of affairs as long as the incursions continue. And if anything will happen between now and next weekend, then I'll probably do another quick video about it. Otherwise, I guess that's it from me for this year. I hope you all have a good Christmas. Thank you to everybody who's been following this series and following me. This series is definitely not over yet. This story is definitely not over yet. If anything happens over Christmas, I'll do updates over that period. Otherwise, keep yourselves all warm and safe. Have a great Christmas. And stay tuned for more developments, because I think if not over the holiday period, then in the new year there will be several things kicking off. You'll have the next stage of the Chelomey Bridge project, and I'm sure we're going to get a big follow-on from all of the other major events that have happened this year. So look after yourselves, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.